Welcome back to Wind Against Tide. My name is Dave Standing. I am joined, as always, by Joseph Fernand. And in the cold depths of winter in Melbourne, very cold weather here at the moment, we will be looking at some hot fishing options for you guys at home. Not only that, Joey, we're going to chat about some stuff abroad, some breaking news articles. We've got a top five from you. Remember that segment, Joe? We're bringing that one back. The Hookup fishing reports, catch of the week, and some grinds my gears action. All your favourites are back. How are you feeling about that for a bit of a rundown, Joe? Are you happy with that one?
Dave, that's just tremendous work, my bud. And I'm so excited to be here. We've got all the fishing friends. They're all barging in as we speak on the live feed, getting involved in the chat room. I'm excited. Let's get stuck straight into today's show.
Can I just say, Joey, another little reminder that we do have our live show coming up next month.
We do. We're going live. Just when we thought live podcasting would be hard, we decided to challenge ourselves even more and do a live stage show.
Hey, why not, Joey? I don't think there's that much going on at this time of year anyway. So why not come out, treat yourselves to a night out on the town, listen to us talk some rubbish, and I think it's going to be a ball for everyone involved.
Yeah, so we're down at Poker Face in Berwick in the outer southeast. Poker Face, the event space, and we're going to have a full open bar there with all different sorts of alcohol and beer. And we're going to have the stage, we're going to have microphones, and we're going to be live on stage. And we've even engaged in the local pizza shop, La Cucina, is going to be whipping up a rainbow of different pizza varieties. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely tremendous. And I believe we do have a fishing guest also joining us.
Oh, yeah, I should probably mention that. Recently announced is Lee Rayner, friend of the show, friend of the Deep Drop as well.
Lee Rayner.
He's going to come down, Joey, and he's going to join in the fun.
How did we manage to burly up Lee Rayner to be involved with our live show?
Well, basically, Luke organised it. He's Luke and Lee go way back.
So Luke burlied him up.
Yeah, pretty much. We just let Luke do that one. But anyway, Lee's going to be there. We've got some more stuff to announce in the next couple of weeks as well. So make sure you grab your tickets and come on down. Tonight, Joey, I think we might give away a couple of tickets throughout the night.
We were very charitable last week. We gave away some tickets to the live show last week, but we are giving away tickets because we are building a community of legends. We absolutely love the support you guys bring to us, and we love doing this show for you. So yeah, we want you to get all around us, and we're happy to all share in the joy.
That's it, Joey. Now, the weather has not been great for fishing.
Yeah, I've had ball freeze this week. I don't know about you.
Ball freeze?
Yeah.
It certainly has been the start of the depressing months. Is that the wrong way to look at it? I should look at it glass half full, shouldn't I? But it has been very, very chilly in the last few days, Joe. Just really has hit in the last few days. But a lot of guys will not even know about this. In fact, even my friends and family may not know about this. But after our show last week, Joe, I did what we like to call a bit of a cannonball run. So by the time we finish up here...
Oh, you went fishing. That's right. And I encouraged you to go fishing also.
I went boat driving. Yes, I wish you didn't encourage me because I was umming and ahhing, and then I was like, you know what? Why not? I've got the day free. I've got an invite out on a beautiful boat with good friend Simon Webster. May as well just do it.
I had commitments.
Toughen up and do it.
I had commitments, but I said to Dave, I'm so jealous you've got Friday off, and you've got a chance to go back out in a beautiful boat, back out into the ocean with a chance of achieving greatness.
Yes, a slim chance, as it were. So, yeah, but people might not realise, but once we finish up what we're doing here with our podcast, it's usually about 11:30ish by the time I get home. And last week was no different. So pretty much got home, got a couple of things organised, went to bed. The alarm went off rudely early at 3 a.m.
Ooh.
I'm back in the car,
Is McDonald's even open for breakfast at 3 a.m.? Like, I know they're all day breakfast, but I don't know if you'll get a saucy egg and muffin at 3 a.m., Davey.
I don't know, Joey. I was in no state for McDonald's. And these drives can be tough, especially solo without a lot of sleep. But I got up, I managed to drag myself into the car, and about 3 a.m., I'm charging east towards Lakes entrance like a real hero. And I thought, geez, we're not off to a good start here. I'm feeling the fatigue already.
How many kilometres from Crib Point to Lakes Entrance is it for you?
Uh, I couldn't tell you accurately kilometers wise, but it's
Uh,
about 3.5, 4 hours.
350 kilometres?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sounds
Let's
good
go
to
with
me.
that. So yeah. Anyway, I charged myself up with some sugar and some of your favorite sugar treats, Joe, and coffee.
Thought you would have got the little percolator wog coffee going, just a straight black. I like to call it my rocket fuel, and I know you like that.
I do love that, and it would have been so much better than the crap that I end up getting from the servo. Absolutely horrible coffee that was. But anyway, I managed to make it. Met up with Simon. We jumped on his boat. We charged out to the oil rig where we lost the big tuna the week before. And within about 5 minutes of reaching our destination, I thought to myself, "Uh-oh, she's looking quite dead here."
Well, you've also rolled when we wrapped up the show last week. You had Simon Webster on the phone mentioning that the weather was absolutely beautiful too. It was just blowing ever so lightly from the north, so you would have had some beautiful conditions.
That's right. No, got out there and it was quite windy. So it wasn't even calm. And I thought, oh, well, at least the wind will turn the fish on.
Oh, hang on a minute. So, what weather forecasting platform did you subscribe to?
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, I actually looked at Mad Eye, which is our favorite, and I thought, it doesn't look that calm to me. But Simon had such an air of confidence about him.
He did.
He's like, oh, tonight it's just a beautiful light northerly tonight. Tomorrow morning's going to be
Yeah,
bloody calm.
it's
The
like
bar's got nothing on it. I'm thinking, I'm looking at the forecast. It looks like there's some wind there, but he's so sure of himself.
he was something. I don't know, something like, these might not be in the exact words, but it was like, oh, it's just beautiful. I got the back door open. I'm in a t-shirt. Like, it's just lovely here.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, no, windy. Long story short, we gave it a good crack. We drove around a bunch of the oil rigs and had a look, and nothing to be found, Joe. So
So you pounded out into the ocean, 40, 50, 60 Ks, just raced on out there.
just raced on out, Joe, and did some laps and came back in. But I was asked on my return home whether I regretted that trip, and I said, no. You know what? I got up and I gave it a bloody crack. I could have easily just stayed home and not attempted anything, but instead I gave it a go, and that's what it's all about. Even sometimes when things don't go your way, at least you've had a crack. You can hold your head high, Joe.
Mate, I'm absolutely proud of you. That's bloody great work. And the number one uh, Instagram and Facebook message that this show always gets is, "Where's the barrels? Where's the barrels, Dave?
Well, they're not.
Where them boys at?"
Well,
And
they're not there. I've checked that one off. No, they probably are there though. That's the thing with them. They're so on one day and off the next that if you're not there at the exact right time in the right conditions, you're going to miss out, Joe. So no, it's not going off there, but they are back in the traditional haunts in quite good numbers, I'm told, Joe. Apparently, you were trolling for some stuff over the weekend, were you? Must have been at your gigs, was it?
me,
Yeah.
I'm always trolling. I've always got a spread out there.
Land trolling.
Yeah, had a spread of bass guitars and strings and effects pedals out there.
We've got a really good crew on the live feed tonight again, Joey. So great to see everyone there. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, got Sean Dennehy, the captain, Daniel Hall, Shane Lowry, the Southwest Dominator. Go, you guys.
Very good.
Love yous.
Where we would consider ourselves newsbreakers, and I'm guessing that nobody else is aware. We've got a submarine on the loose at the moment, Joey.
Really?
We've got a submarine on the loose. So did you know there's a thing where extremely wealthy people pay $250,000 US for a ticket and they hop aboard a tiny little submersible,
Oh,
and
so
they go and look at the Titanic.
is that a bit like when Virgin was doing rocket trips into space, and you could buy a seat and get launched into space? It must be a similar kind of red balloon experience.
Yes, this is the Wish version of that, I reckon.
What do we got? Oh, looks like a giant, a giant
Go on.
condom with propellers on it.
It kind of looks like a sperm in reverse. Anyway, they jump in this big sperm thing, and they go down and they basically do some tourist viewing of the Titanic.
It's a big big white tin can with a couple of little propellers on it.
So it's gone wrong. It's gone absolutely wrong.
What's actually happened? I only caught the start of this tonight.
So the owner of the company, along with a couple of a billionaire's son.
It's a Pakistani billionaire, was it?
Yeah, I think it was, and a couple others jumped on here to go look at the Titanic, and the contact has been lost with it.
Wait. So they went to go look at the wreck of the Titanic, and the submarine's called the Titanic also.
It's Titanic. Is that what you're saying? No, the submarine's not called the Titanic.
I thought it was
the Titan.
Oh, okay. Right.
So anyway, they're at the moment lost at sea. So the thing is, this thing apparently has about 90 hours of air in it. So at the moment, they've got about 40 hours left. The Canada Coast Guard and Army, Navy, whatever, and the US have both deployed ships and planes to look for it. I know they dropped these like acoustic listening devices out of the plane so they could listen for the thing, and they've picked up sounds of banging. So they reckon the people are still alive in this thing, and they've got a rough location, and they're going to attempt to rescue them anyway, Joe. So
yeah, they're vectoring in all available aircraft and vessels to their location from the acoustic banging, and they also said they had sonar devices that could listen up to 4 kilometers. Got the old 4 kilowatt swordfish transducer on them on those search and rescue vessels, Dave.
that's right. So hopefully that turns out all right. You know what I love, Joe?
What?
Got some just independent of the podcast chat going on in the live feed here.
Oh, we've always got some colourful commentary on our YouTube live chat feed. So
the Ely brothers are having a bit of a reconnection. Shane's trying to work out where they're from.
Shane's trying to do Days of Our Lives here.
So everyone's just keeping themselves amused there in the chat room.
Yeah, that's great.
Shane says rare name. That's why I asked.
So they're going to find these people, Dave?
Oh man, you'd want to hope so. Apparently, this company Ocean Gate, they've had some complaints from employees in the past about their safety record or their safety.
I wonder what actually went wrong. Like that's stopped it from having control of itself.
I don't know, but that little sperm-looking thing's sitting at the bottom of the sea floor, 4 kilometers deep there, I believe.
Yep.
And you wouldn't really want to be in that situation. Freezing cold as well.
Unbelievable. Great news story, Dave.
Thanks, mate.
Really enjoyed that.
It's kind of fishing related, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's nautical.
Like, we're not going to lie. It's been a slow news week.
Oh, well, we're going to go straight into our next news story, which also still keeps us in the great Americas.
Does
it?
And
yes, it sure does.
Okay, you're going to a different one to what I am.
Oh, yeah, right. That's okay. We're professionals.
We're not. We're anything but professionals, but I'm going for it.
No, there was a big fishing competition up in the Americas in the Carolinas, and we're going to just switch to our screen now, and you guys going to get a load of this. We're going to watch this video, and we're going to have some live reactions. So here we go.
Sure, there are plenty of fishing bloopers. But this was no mere blooper. This was truly the big one that got away.
They're going to win $3.5 million.
Going to win some money.
The crew of the sensation was sensing victory as it returned to the landing.
Big marlin
For the
competition.
Big Rock Tournament in North Carolina with a 619-pound marlin on board.
Blue marlin, isn't it,
Can't
Dave?
lose, right?
It is a blue
Not
marlin.
unless one of these.
Now I'm going to pause this one moment for
Sure. Okay.
an interlude from us.
Okay.
For those that aren't aware, fishing competitions, game fishing competitions in America are neck level huge. Massive prize money, massive stakes, massive boats, massive wankers on the boats. No, most of them
Yeah.
are pretty cool.
We-
But like a lot of celebrities get involved. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan has one of these boats and he gets involved in this sort of stuff. So
Yeah, up on your
Stakes are high.
screens. Before you just had big flybridge boats coming into the port in the night, and literally there's got to be at least 1,000 or 2,000 people at the docks waiting for these marlin boats to come in to weigh marlins. And there was a $3.5 million prize for the biggest marlin brought in. So we're going to continue the video right now.
Takes a bite out of your prize fish and swallows your $3.5 million prize.
It would appear that this fish has been bitten by a shark.
There it is, the bite mark. According to the International Game Fish Association rules,
If a fish has a chunk taken out of it, whether it be by a boat or another fish or shark or whatever, it's not going to be fighting to its full potential.
making it easier to catch. But sensation captain Greg McCoy told the Washington Post, "We fought with him for 6 hours. The team has now hired an attorney who tells CNN they are on a quest to overturn the disqualification. The crew of a vessel named Sushi brought in the second biggest marlin and was awarded the prize. The Sushi's marlin was about 135 pounds lighter. The tournament had Jaws to blame for a jaw-dropping ending that blew up. A $3.5 million prize.
Oh, they're angry.
Ginny Mo, CNN, New York.
the crowd is revolting.
So there you go. That's a $3.5 million prize at the Blue Rock fishing competition in North Carolina, but disqualified if a shark munches on your marlin and you bring the munched marlin into port, according to the IGFA, the International Game Fishing Association rules. That's a disqualification.
Yeah, so if there's any mutilation of fish, that it can't count as a record and you can't win a competition, Joe. So this is an issue for us in Tasmania and stuff where seals are grabbing tuna. They're no longer eligible for any competitions. So there's plenty of big competitions down in Tassie especially, excuse me, and a lot of the fish can't be weighed or counted because they've been hit by seals.
Is that just though like a backhanded compliment, as in they've been fighting a blue marlin for 6.5 hours and it gets munched on by a shark? It's like, what, you're not good enough? Should you have been able to reel that marlin in less than 6.5 hours? Like 6.5 hours on a fish.
So the reason that rule exists is because the fish is inhibited and can't fight to its full potential. So using the tuna in Tassie and seals, for
Okay.
an example,
Yep.
a lot of people land those fish within 15 minutes or less because they're just getting grabbed and then gaffed. So it's not a true contest between man and beast. That's why they've got that blanket rule, which even if it doesn't actually apply to this fish, because it sounds like they fought it for a very long time and potentially would have landed it quite easily anyway, they've got to have those rules in place. And now the fact that there's $3.5 million of US dollars in play, the stakes are higher, and these guys on this boat are planning on they've got an attorney, Joe.
Yep.
So they're planning on suing.
I'm just going to sidestep for a second, Dave. What's your longest fight time on a fish in your career?
I reckon around 4 hours, or just under 4 hours on a big bluefin, Joe.
4 hours. Do you remember the port?
Apollo Bay.
Yep.
And we released it, or this is one of those ones where I kind of deep in my heart feel like we lost it, but realistically, we had the thing next to the boat, and we were literally trying to get a lip gaff in its mouth, and it wouldn't open it.
Yep.
We couldn't get it in, and then it just paddled off, and paddled down like 10 meters, and the leader wore through, and it swam off. So hard to obviously, if you wanted to keep it, you could have whammed a gaff into it. But yeah, when you haven't released it in the method that you want to, you feel like you've kind of lost it. That was years ago anyway. Thanks for opening up that wound.
No, that's all right.
Very big one it was.
Longest fish fights that I've been involved with. I wasn't on the rod, but Brendan Wing at Greymouth in New Zealand in 2012. He was on a big Pacific bluefin tuna. It was hooked up at just after midnight. In the middle of the night, we were on a liverboard boat, and we were backing up next to the hokey trawlers that were bringing in
The hokey pokies.
their nets. Yeah, so these big trawlers are bringing up their nets, and as all the scraps of the hokey are coming out of these trawler nets, we're on a recreational game fishing boat, and we're just backing up to the hokey nets, and we're just literally pitching baits, just like how Dave and myself were doing at Port Macdonald just a few weeks ago. So we pitched a bait down to a tuna, and we hooked up just after midnight, and Brendan Wing was on a game chair on 130 Tiagra, and he was fighting it until about 8:30 in the morning, 7 or 8:30 in the morning. There was a bit of not right angles with the game chair, and there was times where we were hardly sort of moving the fish. We were dousing Brendan with water, and
Probably the angler, I'd suggest.
we were dousing him with water, and we were giving him Gatorades, and we were wiping his brow, but the old boy did it. And yeah, that was unbelievably epic. Like, there were many times where I just thought the hook's going to pull, something's going to happen. The captain at one point, Brendan's absolutely broken, strapped into this chair, and they started just driving like crazy, erratically from side to side to break the fish's pattern. But Brendan was almost broken, but we got it in. It was about a 250 kilo Pacific bluefin. So that was the longest fish. No sharks nibbled on it, so we were lucky. But yeah, just a little sidestep, Dave.
Did you know I don't think that fishery really exists anymore? It was very popular just up until about when you guys went, and a little bit after, but it sort of petered out to the point where I don't think they bother running charters anymore.
Yeah, I follow a few social channels of New Zealand boats, and yeah, I haven't seen much of, and it usually happens about now during the middle of winter. The big Pacific bluefin chasing the hokies, but I've seen a lot of the New Zealand boats. They actually they do get a run of our southern bluefin tuna, get a bit into New Zealand, and customers do enjoy chasing them. Look, we kept our Pacific bluefin tuna, but apparently worth absolutely nothing on the Japanese market. Pacific bluefin does not contain enough fat content as per our southern bluefin or the American Atlantic bluefin tuna. Much, much more valuable. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. 250 kilo tuna. They reckon good enough for cat food. That's what this captain told me.
Well, if I recall correctly, they were taking samples because Paul Worsling got one as well, and they took samples of it, and they were checking the makeup of the DNA or something. I don't know.
Yep.
Because they swim past in the migratory pattern, Japan, Fukushima.
Yep.
So there was concern that there was radioactive waste making its way into these fish's bodies, bloodstream. So I think they were measuring that at that stage, which is pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Maybe that's why it fought so hard, because it was radioactive.
It could have been.
So going back to that disqualification thing,
Yes.
Dave Jurisic has just brought up a valid question. What if the fish has a heart attack and dies in the fight? Well, that is still counted, Dave, because it hasn't been interfered with an outside source.
That's just a fair fight.
A fair fight indeed. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool news article, Joe, that just came up in the last day or so.
Gee, how pissed off would you be though, getting $3.5 million just taken away from you? Like, I'll never forget my mum and dad that play Tats Lotto every week, and sometimes mum will go to me, "Oh, look, Joe, I almost won Tats Lotto. I got 5 out of 6 numbers." I reckon getting your biggest blue marlin was 619 pounds. So what's that? Almost a 400 kilo marlin.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets munched on, and $3.5 million gets ripped out of your clutches.
The Mad Huey's just pointed out, I'm very, very Moroni. Is it State of Origin tonight?
It could be.
Are we competing with State of Origin?
It could be.
Yes, I didn't even plan that, but I found one of my very old school immersion apparel flat peaks, Joe, which I thought I'd lost every one of them overboard over the
Yeah.
last few years, and I found one and I've resurrected it.
Have we still got a few of immersion apparel bits and bobs for sale?
We've got some. I've actually got some hoodies left, but they're in smalls and double XLs and stuff.
Oh,
So
no.
I'll just bring them to the I bring them to the boat shows and stuff, and if there's any small or big people there, they can get their hands on them, Joey. And our apparel run that we've just done has gone down very well as well, might I add. You've got your brand new King Kong hoodie. You finally got yourself one.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It's really, really nice and warm and soft and beautiful. I'm enjoying it.
I have a quick guessing game. We've got about 5 seconds, everyone on the live feed, to check this out. On my screen here, a creature of the depths. This is in southern Tasmania. That's southern correspondent Jonah Yick. No, it isn't. Is it? It's someone
Yep.
that resembles Jonah. And they're pulling this creature, unusual creature, out of the water onto the sand.
Live on your screens now is a picture of some kind of animal washed up on the beach.
I'm going to need a specific species guess, everyone. Whoever gets it most correct in the next 5 seconds.
I didn't
gets a
get it
ticket.
right.
Joe thought it was a seal,
I thought it was a seal.
so you're immediately doing better than him. All right. 3, 2, 1. Shane kind of got the closest. It is the Thresher.
What is a poor beagle?
A poor beagle is like a cross between a great white and a mako shark, Joe.
Oh, I thought it was a type of Port Jackson shark.
No.
Like beagle being brown and paw being a paw. I don't know where I'm going with that.
So
Okay.
here's a closer image. It's a big eye thresher, which is a deep water species, Joe.
Yes, it is.
So these things are sometimes caught as bycatch. Actually, your boss caught one recently.
He did. Fabian Villela was on board Dreamcatcher too. He went sword fishing charter about 3 weeks ago, and yeah, he caught one.
That might be it.
I'm gonna have to tell you that we found your big eye thresher, Fab.
Anyway, they are they're commonly caught in the very deep water. Apparently, they fight really good.
Are they any good to eat?
Yeah, they are quite good to eat.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to know.
Actually,
Maybe we know someone who might be trying some soon, and they can let us know.
Oh, that's good. Actually, I do remember I used to have a Rex Hunt fishing book when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure Rex Hunt used to give the Thresher shark 5 chef's hats. That was his rating of it. So 5 chef's hats out of 5 indicated it was tasty fish.
I caught a little tiny Thresher when I was young off Seal Rocks, Joe.
Did
It was
ya?
like as wide as this desk, long as this desk, sorry, including its long tail. Still ate it. It was pretty good,
Yeah.
but quite a pup. Caught it on a flathead rig.
Well, in the summer months, especially down those ways, a bit of burley anywhere down those entrances and the tide going out, you're a half a chance of attracting a thresher.
I told you about my Thresher story the other week, didn't I? When I was not the other week, a couple of months ago, when I was land-based fishing with Suraj, King Kong, Donkey Kong Man, and a Thresher came up and ate a friggin'
Yes.
barracuda or yakra or something off someone's jig.
Yes, it did, and you might have filmed it, but it all happened so quickly.
I was trying to catch squid at the time, so I kind of missed most of the action. So I didn't film it, but something pretty cool. So Jonah's sent through a bit of information about this thing. So they suspect it's gotten out of the receding EAC, East Australia Current, then gotten disoriented and lost, then stuck in the cold water. And it was in very good condition. In fact, still slightly alive when it washed up, Joe.
It was flapping.
They only have 2 babies at a time, so they're not big breeders. They mature late at 10 to 15 years old.
And its back looks like a dolphin. Like it looks so smooth and round from its sort of its head to its body.
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, more of a tropic species, the more common inshore thresher is called the common thresher. Funnily enough, you also get them over the shelf sorting, but haven't seen them caught in a while. Big eye threshers seem to have gotten more common on the deep drop in Tas and Vic from Jonah's observations.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting.
So, yeah, I agree with him. We are seeing more and more of them on the socials. And I think potentially that could be because there's been a few less swordfish caught of late, Joe.
Well, yeah, if there's sort of less swordfish, I guess that opens up the opportunity for other deep dwelling species to get on the end of the line.
Yeah, that's right. Less swordfish biomass, less competition means that more of these deep water ooglies are reaching the baits. And I've also seen the aforementioned poor beagles caught as swordfishing bycatch as well. So it's amazing what's swimming around down there in the depths, Joe. That's what's kind of so appealing about this deep water fishing to a lot of people. It's a bit of a lucky dip in some instances.
Well, these you're just so far into the middle of the ocean, fishing anywhere from 200 meters down to 500 meters. You're definitely going to bump into something that you may have never caught on the inshore before.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Joe, remember that old segment we used to do? It was like a top five, Joey's top five. And it was
Yeah.
usually like Joey's top five foods. And then we thought this will be a good segment. And it lasted about 3 weeks and we ran out of 5 things.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. We did, but we're bringing it back, right?
Have you regenerated in the last year or so?
Well, you actually inspired me. Dave said to me, Joe, how about we bring back your top 5? And I thought, we're professionals. We get this show ready between the hours of 5 o'clock and 7:30 on a Wednesday night. And Dave comes over straight after work. We have something to eat and we put this show together. But we've regenerated Joe's top 5. This week, I'm going to talk to you about top 5 fishing gear maintenance things to do in the middle of the cold, freezing winter. Guys, we can't go fishing at the moment. It's been so windy and so cold, but there's plenty of other things that you can do to get ready for the up and coming spring to summer fishing season where we're all going to go fishing like maniacs. So in position number 5 of top 5 fishing gear maintenance things is check out your reels. You got reels in the shed, in your fishing shed that maybe the bearings are squeaky. Maybe when you like turn the handle, they're a bit crunchy or they're just not as smooth. They're not like how they were when you bought them. There's a great opportunity to send it back to your favorite reel maintaining person, or if you reckon you're a bit of a whiz, and I reckon a lot of fishermen are tradespeople and they think they're pretty good with servicing reels themselves, you can definitely look at some self-help stuff on YouTube of how to service your reel with the right oils and the right bearings. If you want to go down that path, me, I don't have the time to do that. I'd rather just go to my local tackle shop and send my reels back to wherever they need to go to get maintained. So,
and while you're servicing your reels, you could eat some delicious steamed ham rolls from Bairnsdale service station.
Yeah, Dave, do you service your own reels or do you send them back to the shop?
I do basic preventative maintenance. Preventative? No, I usually do it once they're already stuffing up. I do basic maintenance myself, Joe. Just wash them down, desalt them, and I spray like a silicone spray on them to keep them good. But to be honest, I tend to just use them until they blow up and then get new ones.
Yeah, very good. The next thing on your reels you want to check is we're still in position number 5. You want to check the line that's actually living on those reels. If you've had a big barrel on, or if even you've had big fish on, that monofilament line can really, really stretch out. So definitely want to check the line on your reels. Dave, have you got any tips of sort of knowing by looking at the line sitting on the reel when would be a good time to actually change all the line on that reel? Because a lot of fishermen will just leave them the old line on, and it can cost you big time in the future.
Monofilament has a lifespan, and generally you're supposed to replace it every year or 2 if you're not using it a lot. And it does get sun damage, so you got to keep it out of the sun. Braid, I think, lasts a lot longer, Joe. One tip I've got for your line changing to add to your top 5, get yourself a busted reel spooler. So you can change your line at home. They're a bloody awesome product. This is not an ad, but
A reel spooler.
yes, it's a drill powered reel spooling device that you can
Oh,
buy, drill it into your table thing at home, and away you go, re-spool.
we'll have to make a note of that. Maybe put that on our Instagram story later on. I'm not too sure about that. I usually just on a smaller reel, I just usually wham a pencil between my thighs and put the reel there and just kind of wind it on with the pencil between by the butt behind my knees there. So yeah, look at your line. Also, okay, position number 4, you want to check your rod tip guides.
Hey Joe, just on your last one,
Yeah,
you know how every time you catch a big fish on the big reels, they come back with new line on them?
yeah.
Yeah, that's using that device that I was just speaking of.
Oh, cool.
So now you're aware of it. That's how they magically get re-topped up again.
Oh, I thought you just did it at the good fellas at Fishing Online.
No, that's been done in my home usually.
That's good.
Yes. Carry on though. Sorry to interrupt.
Very, very good. Okay, you want to position number 4. Fourth, at number 4, what you want to check in fishing gear winter maintenance, check your rod guides. Even if it's just a little fingernail crack, that could result in you losing a fish. So inspect all the guides on your rods, and see if it's a top guide, it might even be able to get repaired. Once again, you can send that away to a rod repairer and also get it back in time for the next fishing season. Or maybe you can look at some self-help and repair your rod. I know a few blokes that do that. So check your rod tips in your favorite rods. In position number 3, I've got, you want to do a tackle box stock take. Tackle box stock take, Dave. How many times do us fishers, we just collect gear over the years, bits and bobs, thinking, oh yeah, we'll use that someday. And you know what they say, Dave? That day never comes.
I used to fish with a man who's well known in the fishing industry, a bit of an icon, looked upon as a guru. And I'd go fishing with him. He'd forget the most simple of things, Joe. Pliers, swivels, hooks, basic things to keep yourself alive, water, food. And from that day on, I swore to never be that unprepared in my own trips. So usually we're pretty stocked up with tackle.
No, that's good. But do a tackle box stock take. Chuck out anything that that might have been used that you've put back into your tackle box and go, oh yeah, I might use that later on. Just throw it out. And you know what you can do also? There could be gold sitting in your tackle box. How many of us have bought lures that will go, oh yeah, we'll use that one day, we'll never use it? Sell off some of your old lures. Get rid of the old and make space for the new. So
I love it when people try and sell their crap lures that are they've decided they're too crap to keep, but they still ask a premium for them on the internet and then wonder why nobody wants to buy them. Yeah.
Like what lure?
Just you see it a lot with tuna lures and stuff. They're an unfashionable color or style, or they've like bought the POV pack when they first started, and then they upgrade and they try and sell their old ones.
That's actually really funny. That was me. I was trying to sell my X-Wrap. I love X-Wraps, but I bought this color that was a yellow yakka. It was like a yellow.
Oh, that's a good color.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I've still got it. You can have it for $50.
That was our favorite East Coast bluefin color at one stage.
Was it? It's like
up the South Coast.
It's like a white belly and it's like a yellow smolt kind of back, and I'm like, oh yeah, and never run it.
Oh well, lucky you didn't sell it because she's a beauty, Joe.
Oh, cool. We'll go and dust that one off in the fishing shed after the show. So there you go. Do a stock take on your tackle box. Now that on position, what am I up to? I'm getting ahead of myself. Also in your tackle box, it might be the great opportunity to change your hooks or upgrade them. A lot of these hooks on our favorite deep diving lures are just kind of What are they, Dave? They're sort of just a basic. What's the basic sort of material?
Um,
Is it zinc?
Stainless. Oh, you mean like a Oh man, now you're making me have a mental blank.
I know. I'm happy. Anyway, we can come back to that, but a lot of people like to upgrade their trebles on their deep diving hooks to stainless steel. They're a little bit more expensive, but they will last longer and they'll stay sharp for a lot longer. And you can keep sharpening them and they won't rust or break or bend. But stock standard hooks,
Chemically sharpened.
yeah, stock standard hooks, a great opportunity to do that during the winter. It takes time to get the pliers out and change the hooks and make sure that they're sitting correctly on their lure. Great to do in front of the fireplace or in your trackies while you're nice and warm and smoothy. So
What number
definitely
are we
do
up
that.
to, and which way have we been counting? I feel like we've gone from 1 to 5 and then back. And
No, I'm putting the change hooks on your lures. I'm going to keep that in position number 3.
okay,
Yeah, recovered
are
from
we
that.
counting up or down though? We must
No,
be going down.
We're getting to number. We're counting up to number 1.
Are
Yeah.
we?
We're spiraling up to number 1
So we've
from
done.
5 to 1. So
We've only done 2.
no,
or
we've
3.
done 3.
Oh, okay.
We've done 3.
Okay, keep going.
So in position number 2 of top 5 winter things to do for fishing gear maintenance. Well, you're going to want to be maintaining your boat if you own one.
Yeah, there's big weights on boat servicing these days, Joey. And I think one of your tip was you need to be prepared or something like that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So what you want to do is check if you own a boat, check it during the winter time. You want to check that your flares are in date. How many times do we get to the first week of snapper season and go, oh shit, my flares are out of date. Better go get some new flares. So check your flares and your safety gear. Check your fire extinguisher. You got to make sure that works. So yeah,
Give it a test fire.
give it a test fire. Can we test fire yours actually?
No, we can't. But
Okay.
you can test fire the old ones that go out of date.
Oh, cool. Or save them for everyone seems to save their flares and their extinguishers for the soccer riots or New Year's parties.
Bucks parties, etc.
Yes, very good.
I was at my brother's bucks not long ago, and everyone discovered the flares in his boat, and I was trying to hide them, and they were setting off the night flares, and I'm like, oh my god, it's nighttime. They're really visible. I'm like, someone's going to think that someone's actually sinking, and I'm trying to I'm hiding them, and then they reach the rocket flare, and I was like, dear God, I put my foot
Wait,
down.
what's a rocket flare?
So when you're fishing offshore outside 2 nautical miles, I think it is, you have to carry a rocket flare, which is literally a flare that shoots off like a rocket, very visible. So you can imagine you don't want to be setting one of them off.
Yeah,
So I had to hide that one, Joe.
that's pretty full on.
Yeah.
What you want to check on your boat also, check your trailer bearings. Perfect time to do it in winter when your boat's not doing much. Check that they're greased up. So
Grease them up.
how do you check your trailer bearings, Davey?
I give them a pump of grease before most long distance trips. If you've been real pedantic, you jack up the trailer and you feel for any sideways movement. And if there's any slop or sideways movement, you change over. You should really change them over probably once a year or so.
Oh yeah, and also when talking trailers, check the lights on them. That'd be a great thing to do in winter. It's a prick of a job if your trailer light's not working.
They're forever not working, those things, Joe.
I suppose they get dunked in the salt water all the time. It'd be very, very hard. So do that. But my last thing in the boat category of top 5 fishing gear maintenance things is your engine service. Don't be one of these wankers, and this almost grinds my gears. Don't be one of these wankers that comes to the 3rd week of October and the snapper are going absolutely off their tit in Port Phillip and Western Port, and you want your boat serviced in 3 days before you go out on the snapper because you realise that your boat service is overdue. Don't be one of those people. Dave?
Well, I generally will call up, go to book my boat service in, and they'll tell me some outrageous amount of time that I'm going to have to wait, like 3 months these days. And I say, listen, mate, if you make me wait that long, I'll have another 200 hours on that engine. Do you really want that blood on your hands? So I make them fear for my safety, for the engine's safety, and then they generally will slot me in somewhere.
Oh, that's so good, man. I can actually picture you making that phone call too. Listen here, buddy.
Listen, mate. We can either book it in for in 3 months' time and the blood will be in your hands, or we find a little gap there a bit sooner. Nah, but seriously, because I do a lot of hours very quickly with the style of fishing we do, and it comes up so quickly. I think we once calculated the amount of the servicing costs, and it works out like just every hour that you're running your engine, it was like $60 or something
Yeah,
in
wow.
servicing,
60. Yeah, okay.
like $60 an hour. So think about that, sir, when we're sitting there at idle dropping sword baits.
That's good. And in position number 5, so that was the boat category finish. Position number 5, and it's just a single line item. For God's sakes, check that your fishing license is in date before you go fishing. Great time to do it in winter. Why don't you just renew it and get a 3-year or a 5-year one? Don't have to worry about it for quite some time. So there you go, Dave.
Mine
That's
ran out. I actually fished illegally on last Friday because mine ran out last week. So how do you like that?
lucky you didn't catch anything.
And I knew
you
it.
just came out to read the paper. You went fishing.
My 3 yearly one. It ran
Fishing.
out.
Just came out to read the paper.
I'm just filming, good sir. I'm a cameraman.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Dave? That's the top 5.
I did enjoy that return to form from you, Joe. And I think we need to make it a semi-regular segment. Maybe not every episode because we run out of top 5ers, but that was a really good one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there you go. Do it when it's cold and you can't go fishing. Get prepared for fishing because fishing starts before you leave the house.
Simon's just found out he was harboring a fugitive. Mason, the Guinness, has asked several times what we had for dinner. He's very keen to know, and I can tell you it was absolutely authentica, delicious bolognese, cooked by Joey's Italian mother, Antoinette. And I said to Joe, "How does she make this so good?" It's my family's European version, just absolutely. Sorry, Madeline. It's not really as good as this. It's
Look, my mum was like, she goes, "What are you guys eating for podcast tonight?" I said, "I don't know. I've been busy. I haven't gone shopping." She said, "Look, come past my house. I've got the best bolognese sauce cooked." Which, she doesn't even call it bolognese. She just calls it sauce. She goes, "I got the best sauce ever at my place." So I went and picked up the container, and she said, "Have you got any pasta?" And I'm like, "Oh, maybe." And she's like, "Take this fettuccine." I took the fettuccine and the pasta, and it was great. It was a nice, quick meal, and we had some Gran Parmigiana, and we had some chili flakes, and we had a couple of glasses of red wine, and it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, but it was a nice, quick dinner. Gave us plenty of time to prepare for tonight's show because we are professionals.
I know we're not a food podcast, but
Oh,
I said to Joe, like, the mistake that I know I make when I make it is we just try and jam too much stuff into it. And I'm looking at this going, what is it? This is literally just the meat and the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
it
is-
is.
So it's just meat, tomato sauce, and you said the onion cooked down. And then it's just cooked forever, isn't it? It's your motto, simple ingredients cooked with love.
That's exactly right. To my understanding, it is the best pasta sauce. It's really quality crushed tomatoes. Nowadays you can get Roma tomatoes are quite good, so you can have them peeled in the can. You can blend them. Also, there's these fancy Italian tinned pureed tomatoes called San Marzano tomatoes. Some of those continental grocers sell them in the tin. That's a very sweet, nice tomato sauce to buy. So you get that, and then you get your minced meat, your oregano or herbs and spices, garlic. You fry the onion in the pan, a bit of tomato paste, and the bay leaves as well. And you want to cook that bad boy down for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, and you'll have really good pasta sauce.
Wasn't expecting that rundown. And my wife's now on the live feed getting offended. I was generalizing that us non-authentic Italians tend to stuff it up, all right? Not just targeting you, Madeline. Oh.
Madeline's a beautiful cook. I enjoy Madeline's cooking as well.
Oh, great. Try and make me look worse. Yes, you had more news to break, didn't you, Joey? You had one more thing on our run sheet here about some commercial netting activities that you were displeased with.
Yes, on the social feed this week, it's been reported down at Portland that there has been some commercial fishing granted in Portland Bay in the form of gill nets. So the recreational fishermen are pretty upset that there's been commercial fishing granted in Portland Bay in gill nets. And people that don't know gill nets, it's like a thin, transparent net with like fine mesh holes, and basically they position the nets to where the tide and the current's going, and the fish just swim straight into the net. But Dave, you got some feedback on commercial netting in Portland. Thoughts, feedback? Will it decimate the local fishing in Portland Bay?
I'm not an expert on it, but I do know that this is one of the pilchard netters from Port Phillip that got bought out not long ago.
Okay.
And they've relocated to Portland. And apparently there's like a bit of an agreement between the local rec fishers and the commercial fishers. They don't net that Portland Bay because it's such a valuable recreational fishery. This boat's maybe not aware of that, and they're going in there and netting, and it's upsetting people. So I don't know enough details to comment, but I do think that it's great when we have these symbiotic relationships with commercial and rec fishers where we help each other work together, and the commercial fishers leaving that part of the ocean or the waterway alone was fantastic and is fantastic. I mean, think about all through summer the school bluefin and kingfish fisheries there. That's because all the bait's in there, and that's fantastic for tourism in the southwest coast. So it probably brings in a lot more dollars than fishing that particular area would commercially.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of contention around it as well. Like on that particular feed on social media, there were people arguing about the size of the gill net and how if the 50 mil gill net, like that might only catch pike, but all the other juvenile fish will be able to swim through those nets. So it's a hotly contested and political fishing political story. Lots of contention around the subject.
Absolutely. Hey Joe, it's getting on. We've rambled for a long time, and we've still got the hookup to run through, but we're going to do it real quick
All right,
that we're
let's
not
do it.
going on for too long.
Hey!
Welcome to the Hookup, where we go around Australia and indeed the world for the freshest fishing reports. I feel like that was really loud. It blew my ear holes off.
Oh, that's okay. They'll grow back.
Okay, we're running through it real quick tonight. Lakes entrance swords. Even though the weather's been crap, on Sunday, I believe some boats got out. The weather forecast was better than expected. There was a nice 96 kilo bluefin caught on the deep drop. And that was on Sunday.
Yep.
So bycatch. Ron Kemner today got out. So weather, I thought it would have been crap today, but apparently it was fishable. So they got out and they got a 132 kilo swordfish wide of Lakes entrance.
Have a look at that.
So there you go. The sword fishery, I've always thought, has a little bit more time to run. I think once the water temp gets under that 15, it's probably a lot slower. But it really is the weather that restricts us out off Lakes entrance. It's just so far to go in a boat.
It's a big run.
It is.
It's a really big run.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Apollo Bay barrels have been going strong. Some of our good friends and podcast listeners
I love
have been
that
down there
little
during the
town.
week
I love that little town.
and gotten stuck into them. So a good bite down there still. There's still some kicking around down at Port Mac as well. And no doubt some at Apollo and some at Portland. But yeah, definitely Apollo has been the pick there. We await for some local big basils to really fire up, Joe. Surely soon.
Love it that some people are returning to the Mac.
They are. We need to actually, that might be the next trip, is to get back out there and get stuck into some local barrels and see if they're there anyway.
Mm.
Still on the tuna, Eaglehawk neck has been absolutely on fire. Stewie Nichols of Personalised Sea
Oh,
Charters.
what's that? There seems to be some bananas with that tuna.
This is a pretty crap little photo, but it's all I could get. Stewie Nichols of Personalised Sea Charters has been getting large bluefin nearly every day, sometimes two.
See, he's called Personalised Sea Charter. So the customer wanted to personalise their experience by having bananas while they fish.
And he actually has been releasing a few fish, which is awesome. And yes, this photo did catch my eye after we grilled you last week. Bunch of bananas after what's clearly a successful day.
Yep.
Anyway, sad to announce that Stuart sunk on the way back to port that day, and
was that what the submarine was looking for? Stewie Nichols?
Yeah, possibly. No, Stewie's all good. I think he even caught more of them today.
Oh,
But clearly not afraid of the bananas, old Stewie.
No, they're not afraid.
More bluefin. I know we're very bluefin centric, but we're literally surrounded by them.
We are.
They're firing up there at Bermagui, Bateman's Bay, that region, Marimbula. And boats have been getting stuck into them, mostly 30 to 60 odd kilo fish, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
So that fishery is firing up with some yellowfin around as well. And yeah, not much fishing has been going on. Oh, actually, I was going to mention with Stewie's fish, a lure tip. His Meridian Demon number 5 in flying fish has been his gun lure this season, Joe.
Wow.
Down there at Eaglehawk Neck. So that covers all the bluefin. Like I said, not much fishing going on with the weather the way it's been. But I know some guys have still been getting into some whiting and squid and all the bread and butter stuff in Western Port, which is good to see. And some cod fishing going on as well for those happy to brave the cold. They've obviously been to the supermarket sale, Joe.
Yeah,
what's it called? Aldi. That's the one. Aldi, and gotten to.
I love Aldi.
It really lost my mind there.
Yeah.
They've been to Aldi, got their snow clothes, and they're out there. They're in their phone gloves, casting away. Joey's patented phone gloves, and they are catching some nice Murray cod. Don't know where, because cod fishermen are more secretive than Mulloway fishermen, nearly. But I do see photos.
Yes.
Drifting around the internet.
That's good. And on the hookup also, we've got one Peter Ferguson went fishing today at Welsh Pool, and he got stuck into the flathead.
He did.
He got stuck into them.
Just a nice couple-hour drive down to Old Welsh Pool, out into the ocean, and a few flatty dogs. Good on him.
It's good.
That's good fishing.
No gummies today, but have there been many gummies in the last week?
Mate, it's been horrible. The weather's been terrible. I don't think people have been out there on the old gum dogs.
Yeah, so they're on the whiting, but they couldn't get to the gummies.
Hey, while we were came to mind, we mentioned your phone gloves before.
Yeah.
The tip I've got, because I had to get new tracing gloves after our last bluefin trip because they got manked up by the tuna.
Yep.
Don't waste your money on brand name leader and gloves for light tackle game fishing or medium tackle game fishing, guys.
Yep.
Go to Bunnings and get yourself some demo gloves. They've got protection on the fingers. They've got protection on the fingers and the hands. They're basically the same thing as a tracing glove at a fraction of the price.
Have they got the fingers?
Yeah, they've got like a.
Are they
extra...
Are they fingerless or
they've got fingers?
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point. You're supposed to be protecting your fingers.
Okay.
They've got like a extra bit of material over there and kind of like armored.
How much demo gloves, Bunnings?
Oh, they're like $25.
Still better
as opposed to buying $100 fishing branded ones.
Yeah.
That's my tip of the day. Tip of the day, Joe.
Yeah, pretty sure I paid $99 for Oshia jigging gloves.
Yeah, well, you're a fool. Catch of the week, Joe. I'm just giving it to that Thresher that randomly washed up in Tasmania.
Oh,
that's what I decided to go with.
Yep.
Just hit the
King Kong, Donkey Kong match. Look,
it's Suraj approved.
I just wanted to hear Suraj's voice. I didn't really have much of a catch of the week this week, but it was totally worth it. And I had to grind my gears, but I've decided I'm not being negative this week, Joe.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah, we're finishing on a beautiful, light mood for the evening, and it's been a wonderful show.
What's the weather looking like this weekend?
I don't know. I think it's not too bad. And you know what? I've nearly forgotten about our whole question segment again. I always do that.
Oh, that's okay.
The weather, I think, is reasonable, Joe. Reasonable.
Reasonable.
That's all
Is
I can tell
there
you.
if you were to go fishing this weekend, well, what would you catch, Davey? And where would you go?
I'd love to go deep dropping, but I don't think it's very good out wide at all. So
Oh, there was a deep drop talk night at one of the angling clubs last night. I believe it would have. That sounds like a great talk night, actually, Dave.
what talk night?
There was a deep dropping fishing talk night. And maybe was it Bass Strait Angling Club or?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, there was.
Huh.
I sort of just throw that one in there just on the top of my mind. I should research that, but yeah, no. I just thought a deep dropping would be cool. You said you want to go deep dropping.
No, I meant sword fishing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's some great information there, without really much to back it up. But I enjoyed it. Let's throw to some questions.
Yes, let's do it.
The Roach Life. How often do you service your trailers?
Oh,
Also, is this the worst season on record for weather? It really does feel like it. The Roach Life. It really does feel like it. So, yeah, been bloody windy. There's no doubt about that. What more can I say about that? It's been miserable. Trailer servicing. Oh, I'm a bit behind the 8 ball on that. On our last trip, my jockey wheel carked it, so I got to fix that. And my side clearance lights, I got to fix them. So there's a couple of things on my list, Joe. But yeah, generally I just do basic checks, and then when things break, no, when it gets serviced, they get a check over. It gets a check over, and then generally if something breaks, I'll repair it. But I always do carry a spare set of bearings and stuff with me just in case. Joe, I know, doesn't service his trailer at all because his dad does it.
It does.
Which is the easiest method of all. Get someone else to do it.
Because that's where the trailer lives, not at my house.
There's
in my house, it will get maintained.
There's a lot of questions here about where are the barrel tuna hiding.
They're out there.
I think they're most places if you have a good look.
It's like X-Files. The truth is out there.
I reckon, obviously, Apollo Bay, Port McDonald, I think still has them. Just got to basically pick an ideal weather window or a decent weather window and go for a look at the moment. Seems to be about all it comes down to.
I like your terminology on the barrel tuna. You're like, Joe, we've got a tank full of fuel and a willingness to drive.
A willingness to burn it all and lose all our money.
It's better than gambling, right?
I've had a good scenario come in from Bo Ely as a question as well, Joey.
Oh, yeah?
Situation. Joey's got all the good shit for a mean boat feast. Leaves the fry pan at home, though. Do you go hungry and waste all that good food, or do you use the lead weight from the bottom of the burley pot as a hot plate?
Well,
I mean, that's lead's highly toxic.
Yeah, that's...
so, yes, we do.
No, we would probably just keep the cold food in the esky, and I'd make Dave drive to the San Remo Fisherman's Co-op, and we'd just go and get fish and chips and order the correct amount of fish and chips.
Yes. I found lately with some early capitulations we've had with our tuna searching, we haven't found anything. We've been in time to eat the boat food at home, which is a different experience.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you what, we were at the Lakes Entrance oil rigs last weekend, and Dave last weekend and the weekend before, but I just can't help but think of that Simpsons episode when I'm looking at all those abandoned oil rigs. Like, I just wonder if there's a Krusty Burger at one of those oil rigs, just like dishing up hamburgers. Like, can you imagine that? Just going to an abandoned oil rig and just driving through underneath the platform and getting some burgers. That would be...
Sir, I keep trying to tell you, this is an unmanned oil rig. Oh, Simpsons fans will get that.
Yeah, Simpsons fans will get it. But I still say the best ever idea for the bay is if you had a boat that just cooks sausages in Melbourne snapper season, and you just went from boat to boat and just did sausage sizzle like Bunnings, $5. I reckon you'd absolutely freaking clean house. Doing snags from boat to boat in Melbourne snapper season.
Get that onion smell wafting, and you'd go well. Hey, we've got a tip here from Calvin Bertocchini on the live feed, who is Calvin works these days as a part-time charter skipper, Joey,
Oh, really?
and he also works for ports, I think, in some sort of safety capacity.
Okay.
Anyway, he says good practice is to have a notes page on your phone for boat maintenance. Add to the list as you find things.
Yep. That's a good tip.
You can't argue with that. And Shane Lowry on the live feed also is pointing out that daylight savings is the enemy of the fisherman's pub Palmer. Completely agree with you, Shane. I partially hate summer fishing for that reason.
Dave was upset about Palmer's at the pub. The price of inflation is really starting to bite. The Palmer's are now around the $30 mark for Palmer chips and salad. He wasn't happy, the old boy.
Oh, ground my gears. We've had more weather questions. I'm going to get up the weather for us for a live.
Yeah, people getting the itch, like they've got itches that they need to scratch.
People are asking. I'm checking.
And you're in a bit of an authority on weather, Dave. Even I don't check the weather anymore. I just go, Dave, are we going fishing or not? Like,
Nah, I'm not
my
looking.
life is in your hands.
I find it some of these weather patterns are quite unpredictable at the moment, and I find it a bit hard to follow. All right, we're going to look at the weather, Joey. Chuck it
Okay,
up.
there we go.
This is a bonus weather check.
Okay, let's
We're
do
going
it.
from Friday.
We got
We've got some-
Med-Eye.
Quite a lot of green. I'm doing a big overview of everywhere, by the way, because it's easier.
Love it.
We've got some real death green around the place. All right. So there's a little haven of Bass Strait there where Tasmania is protecting us all, where you could potentially get out fishing along the coast. Good news is quite a lot of north in that breeze. So close under the coast, you will be fairly well protected. So silver lining there. As I cycle through Friday, it's improving.
What do you got there? Friday, 10 o'clock?
That's still Friday. She's improving throughout
Friday
the day.
looks good.
That's still Friday. It started off horrible and improving throughout the day. Anyway, Saturday, which is when we're all really looking at, because that's when we've got days off.
That's a
I
win.
genuinely didn't know where that noise was coming from.
I was making wind noises to accompany the green puffy arrows that seems to be sweeping the state of Victoria on Saturday.
Look at this. It's calm right up in this region, which is where we happen to have a very large Maritimo parked that we could go and jump on and then drive out here
So
and catch
Saturday,
yellowfin.
Saturday, south coast of New South Wales, looking primo.
I wouldn't say primo, but yes, everywhere else looks quite horrible. Unless you're down in Jonah's World here on the east coast of Tassie in the south. Not bad there. Very green and crappy where we are.
Yep.
It's a bit depressing, really.
Okay.
South coast of New South Wales and Tasmania, by the looks of it, or inland fishing. Sunday, also quite horrific.
Sunday.
I'm sorry, guys, it's not good news for the
Sunday
weekend.
is no bueno, my friends. No bueno.
No bueno for any of those days. There you go, Joey. That was
love
worth
it.
a quick check.
Yeah, it was. I think everyone on the live chat got a real benefit out of that. They were thinking about going fishing, and you've either encouraged them or crushed all of their hopes and dreams.
Oh, I've got some sort of smart ass saying Tasmania protecting from a northerly. Yeah, whatever, mate. So I looked at the wind direction after I looked at the wind speed. Mainland's protecting Bass Strait from the weather. Anyway, that is our weather forecasting for the show. And I reckon that wraps up a bloody ripper show, Joey.
It sure does. We've just ticked over an hour, so that is our cue to say good evening and goodbye for another week of fishing fun.
I just really enjoyed having a good catch up with old mates this week, Joe. Just me and you and a few of our friends on the live feed there. It's been bloody fantastic. And can't wait to do it again next week. And then we've got the live show, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So hopefully see you all there.
We'll see you back
Details on the screen now. Good night.
We'll see you all next week. Thanks very much.
Yeah, like I'm taking weather advice from some little nerd, Joe.
Whop him.